You guys need to see my nips this month. It's about half of what it normally is.
That's the way it ought to be.
Just something else to think about.
Well, dude, you need to go right now.
Here's how you do it.
All right.
He doesn't listen, does he?
I apologize for the voice. We'll go ahead and get started. I apologize for the voice, allergies with all of the I apologize for the voice, allergies with all of the trees down and the tornado stuff. After delivering some food out there with Chief Cantrell, I came back the next day and I had no voice. So I apologize, that's all it is. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I've asked Councilman Gonthier to lead us in prayer and pledge.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We just ask that you help us to have a productive meeting. Will help us to do the business for the city in a way that honor and glorify you. Lord, we thank you that we were spared what could have been a potential disaster. But Lord, those that were affected, I pray that you be with them and their families. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll do the roll call. I'm going to grab some paper.
Terry Lamar,
Here.
Troy Schrockford,
Here.
Lloyd Bradshaw. Here. Ken Verscheers,
Here.
Tyler Brown,
Here.
Charles Trimble, Chris Gonthier,
Here.
Bruce Smith.
Here.
We good? All right, we've got the petitions from the audience. I have one, Abbott Carruthers. Yeah. Come on up, please. You've got about, what do we do? 5 minutes?
So the guy first time under the bus.
You have 5 minutes, and it's your time to talk to the council. They cannot.
I just wanted to know about the pickup from the brush from the storms on the ditches. So I was told that it's not going to happen. I didn't know.
So let me answer that. We'll answer this for everybody. It's all right.
I'll do not disturb.
So what we're going to do, because Pryor didn't have any real reported damage from the storm, there were some limbs here and there. We do have our brush cleanup that we do periodically. But because of the minimal amount, we weren't urgent in doing that. Some of our employees that would do that had to dig themselves out at home. So we tried to give them some time to get themselves out so they can get out. June 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay.
And we're going to, Terry will put this in the paper this next week. But we're going to do the...
Oh, guys had a true statement.
Do what? Houston? Listen.
Did you do that?
I did that.
That's all right. It was
But you
Courtney.
would have had you known.
Courtney says, sound is great. That's what that was. Thank you, Courtney. All right, back to where we were. June 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to start on the west side. We're going to do the north side, and then we'll do the south side. It's going to be one pass. If you've got a larger debris, cut it up in 10, no more than 10 foot in length, 8 to 10 feet in length. But also make sure that you do not set that brush on utility meters, such as a gas meter or anything like that. We will not pick it up. If there's a car or vehicle or an obstruction, it will not be picked up. It'll be a one pass and done. 10th, 11th, and 12th. West side, north side, south side.
That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Listen, that's on the north side. So, and also again, like I said, make sure that your vehicles aren't blocking your brush pile. They will go on and they won't be back after that one pass.
Mayor, to clarify that, you said to cut it in 8 to 10 foot sections?
8 to 10 foot in length if it's larger.
Not, okay,
If it's the larger diameter stuff.
8 to 10 feet.
8 to 10 feet, please mention, do not follow it on top of gas meters or water meters.
I already said that, buddy. Thank you. We got you, bud. We got you, bud. And I told him one pass. So one pass, so. All right, does that help out a little bit?
That's all I need to know, thank you.
Perfect, all right. Department head reports, we're gonna move on. I've got one as requested, last council for our building inspector. Building inspector report for May 2024. I'm gonna let you read that if you don't mind. It'd be easier to listen to you than me.
All right, so building inspector report for May 2024. Craig and I did a total of 67 paid inspections for May. Craig did 20, and he did 47. I did additional 30 re-inspections or inspections with contractors or James and Cody with MUB about addressing issues that came up in the community. Let's see, he worked with Trent Humphrey on issues he had in houses for abatement, reviewed several plans for remodels and new homes. Forgive me if I butcher your name, but Cheryl Law and I have the stored building plans that are in the back rooms up to date with COPC retention policy. This has cleared up much needed space. Had several homeowners and contractors calling or came into the office needing info about codes, additions, zoning, or services.
Thank you. All right. Johnny, emergency management.
Well, we had a busy couple of weeks since the last time I seen you guys. I did want to mention one thing about, we had a lot of calls after the tornadoes the other day. People not understanding how they work, the sirens, how they work, when we set them off, how long they last, what to do when they go off, and all this stuff. And it always seems to come up, higher issue we have with a storm, bigger issue we have with a storm, the more phone calls we get. So a lot of people are not understanding the sirens are originally built for outdoor warning systems. So what they're made for is if you're out in your yard or you're shopping or you're getting gas, you're at a ball game or something like that away from your television, and the sirens go off, what that means is you're supposed to go turn your TV on, your radio on, whatever, get more information. That's what the purpose of them are. They're not designed to wake you up at 12 o'clock at night at your house. And a lot of people have that thought that that's what the purpose of them are. And we had a lot of people calling wanting the city to install more storm sirens. So when we originally bought the ones that we bought, I think they was about 2010. We replaced all of them in the city. We had a study done, and the contractor used the FEMA standards at certain decibel levels at every place in the town, and then they placed the sirens where those decibel levels could reach those amounts. And so everywhere in the city of Pryor, even if you're down at Walmart all the way up to here, when we put those in, met the FEMA standard for those decibel levels at those locations. Now that doesn't mean that you can't buy more if you want to. I mean, that's totally up to the city if they decide they want to do that or not. But that's how those amount of sirens were established originally. And if you're outside, you can hear the sirens pretty much anywhere in town that you're at. I would have a hard time believing that you couldn't. But they're not going to wake you up at night. So if somebody's asleep at midnight, like we had the other night, storms come through, sirens go off, they're not going to wake you up to where you can go get in your cellar. That's something you're going to need to make sure you've got other ways to get them. Your warnings, whether it be weather radio or it is through the code red mass notification system or whatever. But you're going to have more than just the storm sirens to receive your warnings. So I just wanted to go over that and see if anybody had any questions.
I've got one.
Okay, go ahead.
How many sirens did not go off during the last storm?
The only one that I'm aware of that didn't go off, and it's because it hasn't worked in years, is the one over at Oasis Church.
I heard the one south end of town. I was outside when it went off.
Yeah.
I heard one kind of,
It works sometimes.
The one at Oasis. It was never taken down. It was put out of service when we bought all the new ones. And so we never took it down. Over the years, we've tried to keep it going. It's old. It's not worth spending any money on. If it goes off, it's just a miracle that it went off because we can't hardly keep the thing up and running. It's just,
Well, I was in my backyard and I only heard one siren that I could even hear. It was way far north. I couldn't hear anything.
so the closest one to you would be the one over at the Catholic Church. The Oasis Church, which doesn't work, but the Catholic Church would be the one that would be closest to you.
But they all operated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we've got in our EOC, we have a computer program that watches the sirens, and when a siren's activated, it sends an alert back to the computer that says it was activated. So, yeah, they all went off.
Were there any issues with the cell phone alerts?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Mine alerted me fine. I do want to make one comment,
Okay.
and it's so that you can address it. When we had multiple storms come through,
Mhm.
there were some people saying, why didn't they go off again every time there was a new, since it was mentioned by a few people, I think you probably want to respond to that.
Yeah, so how it works is every time the city of Pryor gets a tornado warning, whether you get one or two or whatever, we set the sirens off. If you get, sometimes like you may get one that's coming from Shoto and it's way over Inola and it winds up catching part of the city limits in the warning box. So we activate one maybe 40 minutes before it gets here. Sometimes the weather service will reissue a new warning, sometimes they won't. If they do issue a new warning, we set the sirens off again. A lot of people get confused thinking that's the all clear, that it's time to come out of your cellar, but that's not what that's about. That system where they do the all clear has been done away with years and years and years ago. Nobody does all clears anymore.
Johnny, I've got a couple questions.
Okay, go ahead.
How many sirens do we have in the city limits?
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 in the city limits and 1 at the fairgrounds.
Okay. And since we're annexing the entire district area in, and the people that live out on Old Airport Road, all that's in the
Right.
city limits, are there sirens in those areas?
No, the closest.
Do you have any plans to put any?
Well, we could. I mean, the way that these are set up is if the city wants to purchase some more sirens and put them in, they'll fit right in with the current system. They'll just be added to the current. We hit one button and they all go off. So, you know, they're about 20,000 or so a piece, roughly. So maybe a little bit more, but somewhere in that ballpark. The closest one to up at Airport Road is at the Dog Pound. It's an old one. We reused it from the last time. It was the same one that we had at the Oasis Church, but it's just one of those ones that never has had problems. It still works. But that's the closest one for the Airport Road area, is the one at the animal shelter.
What's the closest one to the district area?
Walmart. There's one right across the street from when you turn on to go to Walmart. There's a cell phone tower right there and it's right next to it.
Do you have any money in your budget for capital improvements for new ones?
I don't think there's anywhere near that amount in there.
Mayor, since we are annexing all these new areas in, and they should get the same service and the same protection, can you consider that in the budget for
Yeah, I think we can definitely
for those
consider-
areas? Because that's,
Step one would be making sure that, you know, if we got one at Walmart,
Yeah.
I'm sure they can hear it in the apartment.
Yeah, if you're outside, you can hear it in the apartments. You're not gonna hear it in the house, but you could probably, I mean, and I can double check that. The next time if we ever get it, eventually it'll turn off hot and we'll be begging for storms. But right now, it seems like we're having them every time we get ready to do a test. But if the first time we get a day clear where we can do a test, I'll go down there to the apartments and we'll set them off and see if I can hear them.
thank you.
Johnny, one more question.
Okay?
I guess being selfish, but in where I live in the south end,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't have Oasis, that whole south and east side won't have anymore. They can't hear it.
You should still be able to hear the one from the Catholic Church. I can't remember the exact mileage, but it's roughly, it's just a little over a mile circumference for every siren, their distance, that you should be able to hear them at the correct decibel levels. So I think that you could probably still hear the one at the Catholic Church. I think that was the original plan. And I've got a map in my office that has each siren and their radius where they reach, and I can show that to you.
Well, can we get the Oasis one fixed then? I guess.
If it was me, I'd replace it.
Okay, I'm good.
I mean, it's not. We've tried to keep that thing going for years, and it's more problems than it's worth. You'll spend more money trying to keep it going than you will just buying another one.
I do know there's a lot of people in that area, those apartments,
Mm-hmm.
and, I mean, there are a lot of people that.
Since that one's been down for quite a while, have you asked in the budget every year for the city to buy one?
No, we haven't, because when we bought and replaced all of the sirens at the time we did them, we made sure that every part of the city was covered under those new sirens. So it wasn't like, okay, we know this area is not being covered, we need to have it replaced. We knew it was being covered from one of the other sirens in the area. Like I said, I've got a map that shows the circumference and where every siren's at, and every part of the city was covered at that time. Now, you know, you're talking about the annexes that we've done recently. Those weren't considered, of course, at the time we put those up. So, you know, that might be something you guys want to consider now.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a way to test that before we put one in?
Yeah, I mean, we can set them off and set people down here and see if they can hear them.
Y'all do that on Wednesdays anyway.
Yeah.
As long as it's not storming or raining, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not a problem to find out if we can hear them in those areas.
I know when I lived on Ridgewood there,
Mm-hmm.
south part of Ridgewood, we could hear the Catholic Church
Yeah.
loud and clear, so.
Yeah, those new ones that we bought were good ones. They're pretty loud.
Any word, if there's gonna be any grants or anything coming available for that, for the storm rooms?
For what?
For that, or storm rooms or cellars or anything?
So how the grant system works is, after we have a disaster, FEMA puts a certain amount of money into an account that allows communities to apply for grants, okay? We usually pick our grants that we're gonna apply for, and a year or two in advance. We do that during what they call the hazard mitigation planning phase, which we just got the approval to start that program. And so when we get that done, then we can apply for either an individual storm room grant or something like that for the city of Pryor. We've done, I think, either 3 or 4 of those in the past, and they've been really well. We put in over hundreds of storm shelters in city limits of Pryor with these grants. So yeah, that will become available. It's not right now because we're not in a position where we can apply for them right now. We just got awarded a grant. We did it through the county, but we just got awarded a grant during the same program to buy out a bunch of houses along south of Langley, along the river that are getting ready to fall in the river. So same program.
Anything else? All right,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
you bet.
Thank you for your work this last week.
You're welcome. Thank you for your help, and also the fire department, police department, mayor, everybody come out and help with this, and Pryor was well represented.
Yes. All right, thank you. Chief Young, you're up.
Well, we're rocking along like we always are. We're going to go next week to do the final on our other engine that we have getting finished up, so we're going to go look at it, see if it's getting put together the way we want it. So we're excited about that. We have received quite a few phone calls here lately about these power panel farms and stuff like that to produce power into the grid. Myself and Johnny had a meeting one day with a company, and all they did was kind of make us aware that they were looking or talking with landowners in this area. But we have got a lot of phone calls where people are concerned we won't respond if said power panels are around their area or their home. If you're in our fire district, we have a duty to respond and take care of any calls that's in our area. That being said, if there is special hazards or anything like that, we'll address it just like any other call when we get there. But there are some talk or a little bit of talk here and there that we won't respond, but that's not true. We'll always respond, and then once we get there, we'll have to determine based on life safety, property conservation, and environmental protection. Then we'll fall into that. Then once we do that, we'll do risk versus reward. Is it worth losing equipment, manpower for what we're doing? So it's all part of the deal, and I'm sure GRDA, PSO, CAMO, all those people, if this becomes more, gets more in depth, there'll start being more meetings to where everybody gets on the same page and we can discuss further. But we have received quite a few phone calls on that at our station the last couple of days.
Are those panels such that could be a hazard potentially?
So just in what little research we've done, it kind of depends. There's different setups to where they plummet straight into the grid. There are some to where they have battery trailers, and that's for, and I'll be lying, this would be something GRDA would know more of, but during peak times, they might store up power and then release power at certain times, so there could be battery packs. We don't know exactly what the companies are looking at to doing to base that off of. I know some of the training we've done on residential stuff to where people are starting to put them on their homes. I know from, like, if it's daylight, we got to cover the panel with a tarp before we start fighting fire, because as long as that panel's exposed to sunlight, it's making power. So from that panel all the way to where it plugs into either batteries or the service to your house, we have to kill that panel by covering it with a tarp before we start. It's not like where we could just go pull the meter and get to work. The batteries, there are some hazardous with batteries, but batteries are in your cars and everything else like that. But it'll just be a learning curve for us to identify what the hazards are, and we'll just attack it as we learn the change of it kind of deal. But we deal with that all the time. Everything's always changing.
Anything else? Chief, again, thank you gentlemen for what they did this last week and helping the county area surrounding with storm.
Yep.
Storm stuff. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dennis Bowman, golf.
Good evening, everyone. Golf course has been real busy. It's that time of the year, so we're really busy. Maintenance is busy as they can be, and we're doing a lot of events. We was lucky we got spared by the storm, so we didn't have but just a few little leaves and small stuff to clean up. We would just keep having just really good numbers. We're just running a lot of people through there, so we're going to have another record year if June turns out the way it should turn out. Friday, we're hosting the Pryor Quarterback Club Tournament. So it's a 9 o'clock shotgun. So if anybody wants to come out, we'll be probably doing lunch around 1 or 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. But they have a full field. So they're looking forward to really putting on a great event for them. On June 18th, we'll be hosting our PGA Junior Tour. They'll come in from all over Arkansas and Oklahoma and the southern half of Kansas. So there'll be a lot of them come in for that tournament. On June 20th, we're hosting the Chamber Tournament. So if you haven't got a team, please get a team. If you want to play, sign up and come out there and have some fun. Just busy right now. Anybody have any questions for me?
Yes, I do. What's the status of your cart path and bridge project?
The bridge project, that's a good question. I sent out a deal to the park board the other day. We're actually kind of looking at switching on our bridges to maybe using some aluminum trailers, some like 45-foot trailers to put across there. They're considerably cheaper. They're like $10,000. You can buy a nice trailer and take the wheels off of it and then put the concrete on both ends. So that's the process we're looking at right now to go to that. Mr. Graybill at the last meeting had an idea for that, and I talked to him after the last meeting. So I think that's going to be really worth pursuing. I've been looking at them and talking to people. I talked to a guy that does a lot of metal stuff. He thinks it would work really good. So it could save us a lot of money. You know, $10,000 a bridge would be really nice.
And you said aluminum,
Yeah, aluminum trailers.
so they won't rust very quickly?
Correct, yeah, and exactly. So, you know, it'd be nice to be able to put aluminum, you know, and they're kind of rounded anyway, those trailers are, 45, 50-foot trailers. So we've been shopping around a little bit trying to find some of them. And then based on what we decide there, that'll let us know how much money we have left for cart pass. Because we need to get after that pretty quick. As soon as
Do
we
you
make it.
anticipate doing that this calendar year?
Yes, I'd like to do cart pass by August. That's the best time of the year to do cart pass. So hopefully 1st of July we can go out for bids for that and try to see if we can't make that happen.
Okay.
We just need to figure out our bridges first so we know how much money we can spend.
Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else?
All right, thank you.
Come out and see me.
Jerry Raritt, the library.
Before I forget, and I'm thankful to my staff for pointing this out, I handed you all candidate forum little postcard things. The dates are wrong. I made those this afternoon. So I flip-flopped The Mays County Sheriff and Commissioner for District 2 Forum will be on June 10th. And then the Mays County Clerk and Mays County Court Clerk will be on June 11th. So it's still Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And of course, you're coming to all 3 of them, so I didn't really need to tell you that I made a mistake, but now you know. And then it's on our Facebook page. I've corrected the text, and then after this meeting, I'll go correct the picture, so that'll reflect the correct dates. Anyway, so we're doing that next week. Hopefully you guys can come and we get some good participation. We are planning to live stream it on Facebook. Not 100% sure of the technology for that, but we're gonna figure it out. You also have your statistics sheets. It's pretty normal stuff for May. We do kind of a pause in programming in May, though we still did have 20 programs, but we don't do as many children's or teen programs because we're getting ready for summer reading, which brings me to summer reading. So our theme this year is Adventure Begins at Your Library. We have a booklet for grown-ups, so you should come and get one. The challenges for grown-ups, there are 3 challenges in this booklet. Challenge 1 is to read. So you can either choose to read 5 books, or if, like me, you know you're not going to read 5 books in a summer, you can color in a cat for every 20 minutes that you read. When you finish that, you come back to the library and say, hey, I finished it, and then we get you an entry into our grand prize drawing that we'll do at the end of July. Challenge number 2 is to make things. So I made a new friend, and I made cookies with my daughter. And so those are 2 things that I did. When you finish those, again, come back, let us know you finished them. We are not going to check, so we just want you to have fun with us. And the 3rd challenge for adults is to explore. There are some ideas for things to explore. There's a QR code for webcams and national park websites. Also explore languages with our Mango language app that we have through the library, or just do whatever you want and then come tell us you did it. When you finish the whole book, you get another entry. So, and the prizes are things like little gift baskets. We have one from Beggs, and then we're going to do gift cards from businesses around town too. The kids one is a little bit more fun. They get to travel all over the library to get passport stamps, and then they also get to travel around town to get passport stamps. So once they have all their library stamps, they can go to the Pharaoh's Palace or City Hall to get a stamp. That's a monkey stamp. They can go to the Mays County Extension Office, Bank of Commerce, also Etch and Burn, I think, is one. So it's really fun, and there are also prizes for kids. The reason we do summer reading is to help kids retain the knowledge of what they learned in the previous school year, because if they can remember more and not have to spend as much time catching up the next year, they do better in school and in life, and that's what we're about. So that's a lot. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Your food program?
Say again.
The food program?
Yes, we are absolutely doing the food program, but we are out of food. So we started with 200 boxes yesterday, and that was supposed to last us for 2 weeks. So we're not getting more food until, what?
He was so excited, he stood up and raised his hand.
Oh, yes, sir.
Could you, when you're done, could you elaborate on the program y'all's doing where you're finding stuff from the tornado? I heard on the radio this morning, I didn't know anything about it, I heard on the radio this morning, they gave Pryor Library a big shout out for doing what you do, but I didn't know anything about it.
I can do that too. Food program, so each box is 5 meals for breakfast and lunch. They're for children. The federal government is requiring that we have a name for each child that gets a box, but we had 200, now we have none. We are hoping that we can get 400 on the 17th, which is our next pickup day. So, but there is a big need in Pryor and Mays County. There are other places that have boxes. I know that I think it's the Ministry Alliance, but I'm going to say things that are maybe not true. So we have all the numbers in the list of who has the boxes besides us. Yeah.
Well, and you have a need for help getting those boxes from the
Yes,
storehouse
but I
to
think
the library.
I think Buddy is going to come to our rescue. We were able to borrow a family member's truck and trailer to haul that stuff. but we're not sure we're gonna have access to that truck and trailer every time.
Yes, so.
So I think Buddy's gonna help us. And then I talked to Justin Couch at the police department, and he said there may be a chance that they're gonna figure out how to deliver them to us too. So we're gonna get it all worked out. And hopefully we can feed as many kids as possible. And then the pictures. So we saw on Facebook after the tornadoes on Memorial Day weekend that lots of people were finding photographs in their debris. And they were posting them on Facebook and saying, you know, if this is yours, come get it, or whatever. So we decided that we would be a central place. So if you find a photograph or something that you think is of personal value from tornado damage or debris, feel free to bring it to the library. We'll put it on our Facebook page and hold it for as long as we need to until the owners can come and claim it. So.
It's really cool, you know, in the, Carrie, you experienced the Joplin tornado.
Yes.
You probably saw a little bit of that there. My wife's family had a house, a couple houses that were destroyed there. My sister-in-law, about a year after the Joplin tornado, got a letter from somebody on the east side of Springfield.
Oh, wow.
And they had found one of her school pictures that had her name on it.
Yeah.
And it was in perfect condition. But those debris fields carry that stuff up tens of thousands of feet. And so the fall could be 100 miles.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And really the things that we're getting it's debris from damage that was west of town. So the debris from Salina and those sorts of pictures probably will not be at the Pryor Library unless they're found east of town and then they're brought here. But really it's a lot of stuff that was damaged west of town.
So 5 pictures in your yard, bring them to the library?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
I found a bunch of paperwork and pictures from Garrett Trucking.
Man, their stuff is all over the county, bless their
That's fine.
hearts. Yeah. So yeah.
I'll bring them back.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you so
I
much.
can tell you exactly where that one goes. That's my dad's neighbor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of their stuff. So when they're
We're back
ready,
in Arizona, so I'll try to come help.
yeah, when they're ready, and there's no timeline for that.
And there's some other Garrett pictures, and then I found somebody else who's related to Garrett, so I've already figured out about 3 or 4 of them, how they're related, some of them in the world. Put names on your pictures. You don't know where you could end up.
Or digitize your pictures with the library's
Says the
equipment.
genealogist.
It's free, it just costs you your time.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for all of those efforts.
All right, thanks.
Parks and Cemetery, Frank was not able to be with us tonight, but I have a report from him. He says, and I quote, "Hi there. We made it through." It's Frank. We made it through Memorial Day without any issues. The cemetery did not look its best, but considering all the weather and short on kids, still looked pretty good. Pickleball courts have been set up and being used a lot already. Splash pad has been really busy with no issues. The skate park equipment is set to be delivered on June 10th. We'll take a few days to get it all installed, still constantly dealing with unsheltered individuals in the park. I'm editing a little bit, taking some liberties with that. In the park, in the restrooms, doing some damage. It seems like we're fixing the trails about every other day from the rain. Other than that, just trying to keep up with the mowing and the trimming. So I know they've been very busy with mowing when it's dry enough to mow. So that includes the ball fields, the soccer complexes, the what? Right. So thank you, Frank. All right, Chief Cantrell, you're up.
Do you have any updates on this one?
He's still looking for some help.
So you've got the stats that we have on here for May. It was down a little bit, had a lot of weather, the rain and stuff, obviously. But we had 495 traffic stops, 116 citations, 35 arrests. Animal calls are continuing to be really high. And Meg can tell you more, but I guess it's litter season for cats. So there's cats all over the place and dogs. We have 2 open pens right now. Code enforcement's getting real bad with the rain. You can see the grass around town. That's growing. I saw a list of probably 20 today that Cheryl sent. I don't know if you're in that list or not, but Cheryl sent Trent that's come in today. So that's ongoing. Trent puts out fires. Jack's helping him through the summer with that. So some of the things that we had go on, obviously the big one was the tornado. When it hit that night, we were fortunate here in town. We had maybe one tree down. Everything else was fine in town. It was all mainly towards the Osage areas where everybody went first. Our guys, we worked with the sheriff, and he requested us to go out there. So we had 5 or 6 guys out there that night helping on those rescues. And the one was where those people lost their lives at. And listening to it on the radio, listening to all emergency responders that were out there, and everybody worked the Charlotte Fire Department. Kudos to those guys for what they did that night to help save those people. So they worked their tails off till about 4 or 5 in the morning that night, and they continue to go out there and help. And I know Tram on them, a couple of our guys were affected. They've been going out there and helping cut limbs and things like that, cleaning their yards up and houses up. One of our cars was damaged during that. It was a car that doesn't matter. I mean, it's an old car anyway, probably the oldest one in the fleet that was going to go by anyway. So it just sped up that process. So that car will be gone. That was Johnny Jenkins' unit. His house got hit pretty hard on it. We had ICAC search warrant, which is the Internet's Crime Against Children. That stuff's still going pretty hot and heavy. And I know you're probably seeing it on Facebook and stuff, but Hannah works those. They had a legal marijuana grow in Spavinaw, the old Spavinaw school, that they worked with District 12 Task Force and OBN on. Usually when they hit those grows, they'll get several of us together, our agencies in the district, and they'll have us go help them with those because they're such a large process. And they're not fun to do because you go in there and you cut the marijuana down. And a lot of these, what they're doing, they have the permits at first. So an owner buys it, has permits, they sell it to somebody, that person doesn't get permits anymore, and that's where it becomes an illegal grow, and they ship it out of state. So we're seeing a lot of that, and that's going on a lot in Mays County. So a lot of that stuff that's happening. Had a bad dog bite the other day. 1-year-old was attacked by a family pit bull. It was brutal. And I was there that morning. I heard the call go out. Kudos to the fire department and the police department guys. Brandon Merritt was first on scene. He grabs the 1-year-old in his arms. He looks at Consine. He says, "Get in the car, let's go. We're not waiting on the ambulance. We're 2 blocks from the hospital." They took that baby to the hospital. I can't remember how many lacerations all over the baby's body. But the baby survived, and quick action and thinking of those guys that jumped in and helped work as a team. And watching those guys work, I stood on the outside watching them. It's pretty good that we have those kind of people in town that are doing that kind of job to step up in these events. Then events starting up, we've had several 5Ks that have been going on, and a lot of those are open road courses, so you'll have people running on the roads, so it's very important that we're out there with the traffic, especially the other morning at the rec center. There was a lot of fog that morning, so the guys are out there, and that stuff that'll continue to pick up as summer goes along. The shelter, we didn't have a shelter report. She's been gone on vacation, a well-deserved vacation, but like I said, we've had 2 kennels open. They're trying to get them out, but as fast as we get them out, more come in. So work continues out there as far as on the outside pens, and once we get the outside pens done, we're going to move the inside, that retaining wall on the inside and things. So, any questions?
Did we find any help for her yet?
Yes, we do have a temp girl that is out there working, and she's only going to be here during the summer, and then she goes back to school, but it's better than what we had. So at least she's done a good job, and maybe we can keep her at least weekends through the school year.
I want to mention something that you're probably aware of. Bicycle riding against traffic and weaving from sidewalks, and we all know it's dangerous. I don't know how we can help educate better some of these people how to properly ride a bicycle on the streets, but I've seen a number of times where they've almost been hit, and 1 or 2 times I almost hit them because of the way they were being so careless. So it's just a FYI.
Yep.
ETA on those outdoor pins are going to be...
They're working on them now. The rain has killed us.
Right.
But I know they were out there today finishing the leveling off of it, and she said they were marking where they're putting the posts. All the gates are built, the posts are all done. They've just been waiting on the weather to clear. So hopefully this week, if the rain stays away, they can get it in, but it doesn't look like it. So, but we're to that point where all the concrete's poured and all the dirt work's done. It's just ready to start putting the pins in now. So we're there, and I told him I'd like to get the inside done by July 1, so he understood that.
Well, I know that's going to make life a lot. It's just going to be more logistical. And,
correct. Get us more area for...
a lot easier. What's going to happen with those old pins?
I think we're going to still keep them though. I mean, patch them up a little bit, but it gives us extra room. So if we are busy or something, we can use those too.
Okay. Do you have anything in mind? Because when I went out there, it was after a rain, and that was just a swamp. It was ridiculous. And, I mean, you're working with what you got, of course, but I'm not saying you're ridiculous. I'm just saying it was amazing.
No, those pens there, I mean, we got those new area you see will hold a lot of animals, and that runs off well because it falls. So, you know, if it's wet, we probably just want to use those old pens.
I think he's referring to the pens that are there now. They were.
The old pens?
Yes.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. I mean, we could probably bring some dirt in and try to, you know, do some work on that end of it, but it's just I know what you're talking about, how it's dug down right there. So if we brought dirt in, that might help, but it will take some time to let the dogs not dig it right back out. So. Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, Rec Center.
Good evening. Well, we're getting into summer mode. We're cruising. We've extended our family swim hours a little bit, so we've got 5 days a week now that you can get in and swim and all, and they're busy. I was talking to Jackie. They've got 62 swim lessons lined up for this month, and they're still adding to that. Seems like daily. So they're busy over there. Last month, GRDA came in a couple of times and trained, so that's always good. Our fitness classes were busy there. We've got some instructors that are out for various reasons. We did get one back that had a baby a few months ago, so that helps a little bit there. Our main custodian's been out for quite a while, and so we've been trying to hire some part-time to shore that up a little bit along the way. We're painting the pickleball lines. We've had tape down for quite a while. Starting to wear off, so we searched around. We found somebody to do that at a reasonable cost, I think. So we got that going on. We're coming up on year end, of course, so we're monitoring finances, and then of course we got all of our HVAC stuff. Got a big expenditure on that. So we're going to move some monies, brought some monies together and put it in our capital outlay account. So we'll start paying for that type of stuff, these HVAC, these big units, we'll start paying that out of that instead of our repair and maintenance, and that'll kind of help that. And then, because we'll have about $100,000 down payment coming up. So I think with our budget, because we're under, we're 83% through April, 83% through the year, we only spent 68%, so we've got a couple $100,000 there that we've saved once we knew all this was happening. So I think we can cover that and not have to dip into any of our reserves. So we're certainly happy about that. So we'll see how that shakes out, and then like I said, I'd kind of rework the budget for next year, so we're pretty much ready to go on that. So we're just plugging away. Our staff's doing a great job. Our membership was up 134 from April to May. We've got over 500 in the Cherokee Nation program. That started out at about 150. I got another check from them the other day to help with that program. We're just plugging away, trying to keep providing services and doing what we do. So.
Did we get bids back on the air conditioner stuff?
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah, it's on. We got one. Yeah. So. All right. Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
Buddy Glenn, Street Department.
And I think I've got a longer list of what we didn't get done. I don't know if we've got several sidewalks that we've got dug out and set up and getting ready to pour, and then it rained. We've had some areas that we've sawed out and was fixing to dig out for street repair. Well, they rained. So, but kind of get the idea of what that's going on. But we have went around and used our pipe machine. We've cleaned a lot of pipes and stuff out, getting everything drained. We got, with ditches, we got a few more ditches we got lined up. We got, like I said, let the water get out of them. It does make it kind of hard to dip when your ditch is full. But good news is the contractor, he's been down there. They got all the alleys except for 3rd Street, or 3rd Place. And I was talked to the inspector today, and they will be back Monday to finish that one up. So far they haven't had any problems or anything with that. And we went back over what they're going to do on third place, and then hopefully that will take care of all the drainage problems down there on that. I know with the trees and everything, I know there's a lot of people don't understand. Again, this is just a courtesy. There's nothing in, I won't say our charter or laws or whatever, that we have to pick trees and things up. It's a courtesy that we do for the citizens. And we've had some that's irate that they want theirs picked up right now. Well, that's not how we do it anymore. Used to, when everything was bad, sometimes we'd make 4 or 5 trips around through Pryor. Well, that's a great expense for the city of Pryor, the street department, especially for fuel and everything. So we have adopted a thing that we wait 3 to 4 weeks till everything is said and done, and gives everybody a chance to get their material out to the street. And it has to be out there to the curb. We will not go up in the yard. We've had too many, I guess, say complaints because we either left a rut in the yard or whatever it is. And there has been several lawsuits because we've left ruts in the yard, but we've gone up there to help them out. So we will not be up in the yard at all. And other than that, things just going smoothly. Just as soon as it dries up, and we got a lot of things to do. So I don't know if anybody got any.
Are there plans to clean out some of the creeks and stuff? I know you're talking about the culverts. There was a tree fell in the creek behind my house, but particularly I know Bruce and I have taken some calls about Southridge, that creek, and I know that we've talked about this in the past, but I guess we're still getting calls because I haven't got calls yet. I just don't know where the plans.
Okay, well, see, we don't have, the city doesn't have easements through there. And back on Southridge, back in here off of Elliott Street and 17th, that is also, it's a Corps of Engineer land. So, see, you're not allowed to get on to take out, remove, or do anything with Corps of Engineer land unless you have permits. But if the city, if it's not Corps land, if you have easements, then you can go in there and do that with. But if not, it's considered private property, and we're not allowed to go on private property because of insurance purposes.
The last I knew we were working on getting easements.
So we discussed these
Yeah.
lots in our street meeting this week.
Yeah.
So that's, we talked with the engineer. We talked with those that are gonna
Yeah,
try to
we're working on it.
You're working. You knew I was going there. Yeah, so that's definitely a work in progress. Okay.
Yeah, we have several other places that the engineer is trying to draw up. We've got a couple drainage things that we're looking at this year to try to get done. South Elliott and I think Southeast Graham Court and that one off of Bailey. I'm not sure if that was still ongoing, but now we've got several of those. We're just waiting for some numbers so we can add those to our budget to find out what we have to be able to spend on that, and then we'll have to pick and choose and make decisions on which ones we want to do. So, yeah, we did have one pickup that was damaged. Bobby Spurlock drove it home. It had a limb fall down and mashed the cab in and broke the windows, front windshield out. So I haven't heard anything for us that there, but I mean it's old enough. It probably needs to be swapped out and used for one of them rescue trucks down there at the police and fire station to smash it down. But other than that, anybody got any questions? Or
I just want to say thank you for going down to Carl Jr.'s, for that was a pretty hazardous place there at that sidewalk. And I mean, you guys got that fixed, and the guys did a great job putting that back together.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, down by Carl Jr.'s, there's a crosswalk that goes through there that the old boy, he had to be a pretty good old sized boy to pick up that sheet metal and walk off with it, something because it's disappeared. So 2 or 3 of your guys to carry that wanted to get back in here. Yep. So, but we got her mounted down this time. They're going to have to work. They won't take this one off. So
I'm gonna throw this out there as we talk about limb cleanup. Buddy and I have talked extensively about this, just kind of to the public. As Buddy goes through and looks at the limbs that are on the curb, he's gonna be able to tell who cut them down and put them there and what's actually storm debris. And he reports that back because we get a lot of these calls where some people are less than pleasant, and when we get out there, the tree is a straight, even cut, and it matches the edge of the branches. If you're just cutting your stuff down and calling us and saying, well, it's storm debris, it's kind of like the story of the guy who called Wolf. We're going to get out there and be like, oh. So make sure that if you're calling for true storm debris, which I think, Chief, you could probably attest this, we had one reported incident of a tree down on 2nd Street. Now we know that there were...
That was me that cleared that up on 2nd.
So we're very much aware that there were other branches that fell down, but when we don't have that reported damage at the storm time, it creates scenarios that are less than pleasant, and then we have to go through all this Lisa and Courtney and Jay, those girls have fielded calls all week from people that were less than pleasant about their trees down. But we only had one reported incident of damage. So we had one later on Wood Street that went down, and we think it was related to the storm. It was weak and it went. But make sure that you're not just cutting them and telling us you want us to get them, because for those that truly need the damage, it's going to cause a problem later.
Yep.
Is that fair?
Yep, because if it ain't cracked or broken down through there, if it's just a straight cut, I can tell you it ain't storm damage. And we've dealt with that in the past, but I mean, you go to look at somebody, well, let me see the tree where it broke off of, well, no, you can't come back and look at that.
But this pickup will be a one pass.
Yeah, one pass deal, and so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, City Clerk?
We have had a lot of activity, we're doing all kinds of stuff. We've got a warrant amnesty program going on right now through the 14th. So if anybody out there has a warrant up to a certain date, you can call the office and ask, and you get half off the original fine. We are also processing a lot of contractor licensing that's due in June every year, so a lot of licensing and permitting is being done. It's also fire subscription time, so if you're outside city limits but inside the fire district, you'll want to get a fire subscription for $60 for the year from July to June. Come to the office or look online, we have forms, agreements to fill out. Yeah, and just building calls and everyday regular stuff, all kinds of things happening.
Anything else? All right, awesome. We're going to move on to item 4, the consent agenda. Is there anything that we need to pull? Okay.
E and F.
E and F. Man, I was 2 seconds from it, man. We were about to be done.
It wasn't me this time.
All right. Do I have approval for everything except for E and F?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Gantier and a second from Shropshire. Lisa, when you're ready, call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Item E, approve renewing city group health insurance plans, MOBAP 00773 and MOBAP 0083 with Blue Cross Blue Shield for the 2024-2025 fiscal year and moving dental, life, short-term disability, and long-term disability coverage to Blue Cross Blue Shield.
So move.
Motion from Gantier and a second from Brashear.
I just wanted to bring this on to talk about it because I think that we're getting a really good deal on it. And going into budget season, I think it's important to highlight as many benefits to the citizens that we can show. If you have a minute to talk about it, that's the only reason I want to go.
Jennifer's got a minute to talk about it.
Talk for hours about it, but I won't do that to you. I think it's exciting. You guys, most people think it's boring. You want just brief highlights of some of the improvements, changes?
You could just maybe talk about where we started with our rates.
Yep, absolutely. So we started with an 11% increase. Initially brought that down to 9. Do you want me to drive that
If you would love to.
mouse?
Then you can do it.
So you don't have to follow me.
You want to set this chair?
No, thank you.
No.
No. No, hard pass. Anyway, we started, let me see if I can get this thing, with 11%. This was the initial illustration that I brought to the Ordinance and Insurance Committee the first time, and you'll see that the renewing options, it's a 9% there. We'd already gotten 2% down, and then came back to the final committee meeting with the now 7% increase on the health plan. So no changes to the deductibles, co-pays, none of that with Blue Cross Blue Shield, just keeping those 2 Advantage plans, carrying those over, dropping the preferred plan, and that gets us down to 7%. So trend right now is between 7 and 9 in Oklahoma. We were trying to get under that number. The loss ratio this year for the plan was just over 100%, so every dollar and dime that went paid into Blue Cross and premium was paid right back out in claims. And there's some really high cost medications right now, so 19% increase on just the medication spend alone, which is not that unusual right now in this country. So we did shop other carriers, etc. We are, I'm going to just skip the pages that aren't really very important here. We are recommending moving the dental, the life, and the disability plans to Blue Cross Blue Shield because that gets another 2% discount. Think of it like your home and auto bundled savings, so that's where that comes from. A little bit of improvement on the dental plan in that the annual benefit maximum goes up $500, so you members would get an extra $500 to spend for treatment. And then for the orthodontia, there was a little bit of a negative to that side, where the orthodontia, that's braces for kids, is reduced from $2,500 lifetime to $2,000 lifetime, and that truly is lifetime. But we're adding adults, so now every employee and spouse can actually get braces on the plan, and that would be up to $2,000 for the lifetime of that member on the plan. So those are good things. The premium was a little bit higher than Delta Dental, but when you take the savings off the medical plans, and this is primarily funded again by city dollars, it becomes a bigger savings on the medical side and in the overall package, which we'll take a quick look at.
Can you explain real quick the preventative reducing annual max?
Yes. So right now with Delta Dental, when I go in and if I were on that plan, get my teeth cleaned twice a year, that couple $100 doesn't come out of my annual benefit spend that I have, the $2,500 annual maximum. With Blue Cross Blue Shield, it will. So that $3,000 would be reduced by my cleanings and x-rays every 6 months. There again, a reason for having that extra $500 cushion to absorb some of that. Blue Cross can't customize their dental benefits like Blue Cross can. You just kind of pick the one that's off the shelf that best matches what you have right now. And we went with this option, which we felt like had some improvements over the current plan to offset that one negative. The vision plan we're recommending leave with VSP. Blue Cross does have a vision plan, but the network is not the best. We get a lot of complaints when people move to Blue Cross's vision, so we recommended not making that change, even though it would have saved a little more on the medical side. Just in the best interest of the city, I think that little bit of extra spend is worth it. The life insurance, same $15,000 benefit for everybody. You can see there the premium is higher with Blue Cross Blue Shield, but again, you got $1 million health plan spend, so you get that percentage off. It ends up being a bigger package savings. Nice thing on the voluntary life, just to kind of really quickly mention this because I think it is a big deal. On July 1st, when we go through open enrollment in June for coverage effective July 1st, every employee will have an opportunity to buy what we call the guarantee issue amount of the voluntary life insurance, and that's $100,000. So if I've never bought life insurance before, life has changed, now I wish I could, but I don't qualify anymore, I would be able to buy up to that full $100,000 or increase what I have to that full $100,000 on July 1 with no questions asked. And that's a one-time thing. So just another carrot that Blue Cross has thrown out there to help you guys make the decision to change and move over. Short-term disability benefits will match the same. This is employee funded, so it's nice that this doesn't have an increase in premium. The long-term disability benefits are the same. It does have an increase in premium, and with the committee and Lisa, we went through every single employee's change. For most people, it was nominal. If you're older and make a little bit more money, I think the highest one was like $12 per paycheck, it would be going up. So they have the option, of course, to not renew that if they don't want to. But again, looking at all the savings overall, we felt like the health plan pretty much impacts every single employee on the payroll, whereas the long-term disability, only about half employees have purchased that. So we're trying to find the best balance of value and price in the overall package. So here's what you probably really want to know. Everybody wants just to know the actual big numbers, and I've got to get it over here so I can actually see it. So we're looking at the far right-hand column, an overall package increase of 5%. Remember, we started at 11, so we've gotten down to 5, and that would include the bundling of Blue Cross's medical, moving the dental from Delta Dental to Blue Cross, moving the life and the disability plans from Mutual of Omaha to Blue Cross. to get us about a $66,000 increase, where it would have been over $100,000 of increase when we started. So we shaved some off. Can't get much lower than that when you have a negative loss ratio at this point. So hopefully claims will improve over the next year. People take care of themselves, and we'll just have a blessed year for once, and maybe we'll see better numbers next year. That was really fast. A lot of information. Any questions? Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for letting us work with you.
Oh, she presented it, and we had questions, and they were answered. So we voted to recommend the council approve this.
I think it highlights the importance of having somebody that's local, that we're gonna see around the corner every time, that's looking at this, is looking out for us at the same time as trying to help their company succeed as well.
I think there's some value. We actually had an employee in the office today, and they can come in and sit down, and we can help them. I run into people at Walmart all the time. There's a lot of accountability there, but not only that, this is my little Brown and Brown commercial. Most people don't know we're a publicly traded company. We have 17,000 employees across the globe. So with that comes a lot of resources and clout in the market that I think also benefits the city. So it's a nice balance of we're here, we're local, we're in the community, we're also top 5 in the country. So you've got really access to the best.
All right, anything else? Go ahead and call for the vote.
Schopfer,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Okay. Item F, approve adding Next Gen Employee Assistance Program to the city's benefit package for the 24-25 fiscal year.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion from Shropshire and a second from Gantier. Discussion?
Same thing, just like to talk about the benefits and highlight those.
So I think this is perfect timing because I heard Jeremy's report, Chief Cantrell, his report on the police, and thinking just this week. So one of the things we did proactively as soon as we got back into the office on Tuesday was reach out to our customers in the area who may have had employees affected by that tornado and remind them if they had an employee assistance plan. So an EAP or employee assistance plan, it's real-time 24/7 access that's free for everyone in the household to call for any mental behavioral health services. So police and fire, they've just had traumatic experiences, not only some of our employees, but definitely, with the dog incident and some of that stuff. I know they have resources as police officers, but this would be another resource they would have on top of that, and everybody in that employee's household can use it. You would receive 8 sessions per topic per person with a face-to-face with a counselor, either virtually or in person. I like this particular company because they do have the virtual option. So as long as you have a smartphone or some access, you can basically FaceTime, video chat with your counselor. You get to pick your counselor. It's the same one you use every time. Here in Northeast Oklahoma, it is really difficult to find a mental behavioral practitioner and then be able to get into them within a few months' time. So this is like I could call right now, we could get somebody on the phone, and then I can schedule my follow-ups. And then there's other things like the critical incident. You do get a Gantier, we actually talked about this. I think maybe it was Mr. Trammell. We talked about this, and he asked if there was a charge for that. You do get 1 hour of free critical incident response. So within 24 hours, someone would be here. So like if the tornado had wiped out City Hall and had been a major catastrophe here in the city, we could have brought someone in within 24 hours, and they would have had a all-employee meeting, all-family meeting in person for that day. There's a charge for anything above the 1 hour. It's $375 per hour after that, but at least you would get that one training. Anyway, there's concierge services, so if your parents need help finding childcare or care for elderly parents, financial resources, legal resources, just basically like, if I have a mental behavioral health concern or if I just don't know who else to call, you can start here. And they'll even advocate with you for your medical billing. We do that too, but you can use this. Help you navigate through the healthcare system. So like if you have a new cancer diagnosis, not sure where to go, where to start, they'll help you through that process. just all kinds of resources. But primarily, it's the mental behavioral health benefit that's so important. And the cost is $1.27 per employee per month. So we're looking at overall about $1,100 a year investment from the city.
Well, when we discussed this and we broke this out and we pretty much had a consensus, two things to look at, and they're not in order of importance. One, though, yes, we're spending that amount of money, but it will long-term increase employee productivity, I believe.
Yes.
But number two, it's just the right thing to do, because when you got people that have problems, and we all do, sometimes it's just the right thing to give them the ability to get the help they need. So
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in it.
That was a very, especially, and this could be any department, but I know our first responders, they deal with some shady stuff sometimes, and I'm just going to be leaving it at that. And it can mess with your head real fast, and that can happen in anything. So I think it's good to have.
And their spouses at home too. You know, the employee may have resources, but I don't know that the spouse or the family members would. There's an hour training too. So if you do decide to move forward with this, after July 1, when it starts, we could arrange an hour worth of training for manager, supervisor level, so that they recognize how they are trained to recognize something going on with an employee and how to approach them with this benefit. And then, you know, just ongoing services throughout the year. But the productivity side of it, definitely there are studies that show, you know, presenteeism is nearly as bad as absenteeism. I may be at work, but if I'm not focused, I'm not being productive, or I'm making mistakes. So anyway, we think it's really important. We have negotiated this, our national, we have a medical staff, we have a physician and a mental health director at the national level, and so they have scrubbed all these companies and found 3 that we feel like are the best, and have brought in some performance guarantees, some reporting capability. I know there's something I was trying to get to, confidentiality, just for the employee's sake too. We do need to say it's absolutely confidential. I get 1, maybe 2 reports a year just to show us how many people are using it and trend, but we have no idea who or what they're calling about. It is very, very safe and secure. So not me nor anybody at the city will ever know anything about any individuals.
Mayor, what's our plan to make sure all the employees know that this is available?
Lisa usually communicates through that, and we have open enrollment meetings.
Open enrollment, she does a whole education, 2 different open enrollment meetings on June 11th at 10 and 2 here. And yeah, they're really good education pieces.
And those have gone out to their employee emails. So for the ones that we know habitually say, we don't check our employee email, that's on them. We send it, and that's how we communicate. So they need to check their employee email.
This will come with some pre-formatted communication things as well, just some best practice recommendations.
Is there also a crisis hotline type stuff as well that's involved, that's included with this?
Yep, definitely. And like I said, if we needed to get somebody out here in person, we can.
Thank you. Further questions? All right. Call for the vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Compton,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
All right. Mayor's report, item A. Typically, this is where we take a break. It's awesome. Discussion and possible action to award a bid for new HVAC system in the pool area to be paid from Rec Center Capital Outlay Account 84845-5410. Bids are due Monday, June 3rd, 2024, and will be presented at the council meeting. Have a motion?
Second.
From Tyler and a second from Bradshaw. I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
We'll give you one. We got one bid back from Janko HVAC. And that is, Lisa, correct me, we did not get any other bids back, right,
We
Mike?
did not.
So that is for $279,000 to Janko Heating and Air.
For how much?
$279,000. Discussion, further comments? If none, we'll call for the vote.
Question,
Yes.
explain,
Correct us.
sir?
Do we have the money?
Yeah, this is to, is this gonna come out of next year's budget, from what I understand, or is it?
I think that was the plan. Mike, come on up. Yeah. Answer his questions.
That way we know exactly what we're looking for.
So, no, so we're gonna split it up, Chris. We have to put a $100,000 deposit up, and so we, because we're doing well on our budget, you can see that we put money in that, kind of to Bruce's point last time, into that capital outlay account. So we've got 125,000 in there through April. We're not spending anything out. We're holding that money for that deposit to get it in this year, and then we would, use money from the next budget to cover that, and that's what I've done. I gave Zach a preliminary budget, and I showed where I took money out of accounts and what we reduced accounts and what it added up to, and then where we put money in for next year, making provision for that. So,
Chase, are you good with it that way?
Yeah, you're gonna just make sure in the budget it's earmarked.
yeah.
You're so in a way, you're voting to approve to earmark that for the budget of the next one. But you can definitely do it. I think we did that on police cars. We did that on something else.
And the rec board's gone through it also.
Yeah, I know Houston, if you want
Yeah.
you want to ask him some questions.
Yeah, we completely went through everything, and we've looked at the budget and how we can earmark, and we're definitely in approval.
That's good.
And we can also appreciate you, Bruce, that you asked us to go back and get bids, because we kind of thought that a little bit in the back of my mind, obviously, when I was sitting here, like, we should have got more bids, so thank you for that, so.
And just so it's reiterated, this is coming from capital outlay, not O2.
Yes,
No, this is coming out of rec.
Yeah, the rec,
Well,
yeah, the rec.
Recs funds are completely separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure for folks listening and watching that that's not out of the general fund.
Yeah.
And so the motion, the second, had to be amended to what?
I don't think we have to amend it. Just know that's what
To
you're-
earmark or something?
Yeah, well, I think approving this is doing that because he's explaining where it's coming from. I don't think we need to change it.
Yeah, all we need to do is vote on it. Call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks.
Do what? No, you can vote for yourself. Right? You can vote for themselves. All right, item B, discussion and possible action regarding nominations to fill a vacant seat on the Ordinance and Insurance Committee, or accepting the mayor's nomination of Tyler Brown.
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, got a motion from Choya, second from Smith. We're gonna share the wealth, Chris, if you're okay with that.
I'm fine. My motions and seconds is to get the ball rolling.
We appreciate that. All right, further discussion? Basically what I did was I just plugged in the seat from the individual that was there before, and so that it wasn't, yeah. All right, call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
All right, item C, discussion and possible action regarding nominations to fill a vacant seat on the street committee, or accepting the mayor's nomination of Kenneth Brashears.
Motion to accept Kenneth Brashears.
Got a motion from Gantier, second, I'm gonna give it to Brown.
Go ahead.
Discussion? None, call for the vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Item D, discussion and possible action regarding nomination to fill a vacant alternate seat on the street committee, or accept the mayor's nomination of Tyler Brown.
So move for Tyler Brown.
Motion from Gantier, second from Brashear. You ready? Call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes.
Item E, Discussion and possible action regarding nominations to fill the vacant alternate seat on the Budget Personnel Committee or accepting mayor's nomination to Kenneth Bashir.
So move for Kenneth Bashir.
Second.
I got a motion from Gantia and a second from Bradshaw. If no discussion, call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Item 6, city attorney's report. And I think we can also request a waiving of the reading, correct?
You sure can.
So if you're going to make that motion, please make it to waive the reading. The second reading and possible approval of an ordinance pertaining to amending Title 3, Chapter 2A, Section 7 regarding mobile food services, restriction on location as to time, end quote, by repealing said Section 7 of Title 3, Chapter 2A, and providing for repealer and severability.
Make that motion and also waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, we got the motion from Choya, and a second from Brown.
Brown,
That will include to waive the reading. Discussion?
I have a quick question, and I did nose around to look at some of the state law. How do these fairs and festivals, how do they get around having a mobile for more than 12 hours at a time?
They probably get a special permit for the event.
Correct.
So you can get a special event permit, because that was my
That's
concern.
the same thing we're doing with the chili festival.
Okay, that was my concern, okay.
Yeah, that's what Rocklahoma does. They all have to carry that special
It's
event.
just a special event permit.
So if you have a special event, you can get that waived?
Correct.
Okay, that was my question. I didn't have time to dig that deep
Well,
into
that's
it.
a good question. Thank you. All right, further discussion? None, call for vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Okay, same scenario on item B. If you make the motion and choose to add, to waive the reading, please state it. B, second reading and possible approval of an ordinance pertaining to amending firework regulations.
Motion to approve and waive reading?
Okay, we have a motion to approve and waive from Gantier and a second from Brown. Discussion?
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
If we approve this tonight, when will it become effective? Will it become effective before or after July the 4th?
It's gonna be after, because there wasn't any emergency. But, so we talked about this last council meeting, our changes are mirroring the state, so the state will trump ours anyway. Does that make sense? So it's a state law already, we're mirroring the state law, they can't violate state law anyway. We're just updating ours to mirror the state. So it's changing our ordinance, but it's already a law they have to follow.
So I can shoot fireworks at the door?
That's, I don't know where you got that out of what I just said, but. Does that make sense, Terry?
Yes.
Now, what about can city law be more restrictive than state law?
Yes.
So when it says like distance from fuel tanks must be a minimum of 150 feet to that's going the other way, but there was one or two in there where we're being more restrictive, so technically this would still be in place. Would that be right?
This won't be in place until 30 days after it's published.
Right. Right, well, what I was
I
saying
think Terry was asking by July 4th, right? This will not be effective before July 4th. It will be in place shortly after July 4th.
But the state still trumps it.
But the state still trumps it.
And we altered ours to meet the state because we were a little too close. Now I have a question, Chase, something that we might need to look at on this. We had a group that is looking to put up a fireworks stand in the city limits. And they were told by the distributors that they were only allowed to purchase the fireworks wholesale in a certain window that we don't have on ours. Have you heard anything about that?
I have not heard anything.
We just have when the
I haven't heard
permits.
anything about any of this, other than we just updated it to mirror what the state said.
Might be something we just need to double check.
Clarification, is it before what we're allowing?
We don't have anything other than when they can get the permit. So right now, they can, oh, wrong mouse, sorry, y'all. So right now, we have like, what is it, April through April 15th, and we apply for the license between April 15th and June 1st of the license year by filing a written application. That's all we have, end of story on that. And they were given a little bit, so when I went back to them and I said, well, here's our ordinance, here's what it says. We don't have anything on there, so they can buy them whenever they want, as far as I'm concerned. So
If not, they can step across the line and wholesale it and then come in with it.
well, I just didn't go on board, but if we can look at it. It's not gonna change how we do things right now this year, but, that was my only thing we might need to look into.
Yeah.
Doesn't change how it's happening this year.
Yeah, and that doesn't change anything that's in here, I don't think, right? Except the wholesale.
Right, just the wholesale. They'll still have them in time, but it's just, the state claims that it's different.
So to clarify this, when we talked last year about changing the fireworks ordinance to where people could start buying them in the city limits.
Correct.
That is active.
That's active, so we don't have, it won't take, it's active now.
That is, what
It
you
won't
guys
have
did
to
before is active now. This is
wait till the council approve, or till the ordinance becomes effective.
So these changes that are listed up here that are red and yellow, those are the only things, and all that is mirroring. The ordinance itself was approved last year, so we're good to go. Those couple changes.
Yeah, the main changes you guys wanted to, or I guess concerns last time, all of that is active now. This is only that little portion, mainly dealing with distances.
Okay.
All right, further discussion? None, call for vote.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Item C, same scenario. Second reading and possible approval of an ordinance pertaining to changing and amending zoning classification from RD residential duplex to CG commercial general of the property described as follows. The west 75 feet of lot 15, block 9 in the original town of Pryor Creek, Mays County, state of Oklahoma, according to the U.S. government survey and plot thereof, otherwise 101 North Dill.
Make a motion and waive the reading.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a waiving from Choya and a second from Gantier. Discussion? If none, call for the vote when you're ready.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw.
Yes.
All right, item 7, committee reports, budget personnel.
The 11th.
B, insurance ordinance.
I don't know of anything right away. There'll be something, I think, later on for, was it for disability,
Workers' comp.
workers' comp? But that's what, next month, I think?
Yeah, we were gonna start that as soon as that was approved.
Yes.
We'll have to announce when that is, when we schedule it. And that one typically, Tony, we have as needed, kind of, so.
Except we do have a regular scheduled, the 5th, anytime there's a 5th Tuesday of that month.
Okay.
In general, but sometimes we don't have anything to discuss, and then sometimes things come up earlier.
And street maintenance.
It'll be the 25th.
I don't have any unforeseeable. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion.
Got a motion from, an excited motion from Gantier,
I'm tired.
I'll second that.
and a second, did you already give it to Bradshaw? Second from Bradshaw. Call for the vote.
Brown,
Yes.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers.
Yes.
All right, we're adjourned. We're going to call to order the Pryor Public Works Authority. Approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2024 meeting.
So move.
Motion from Gantier,
Second.
second from Rushier. the vote.
Gantier,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
All right, I have no unforeseeable. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes, you do.
Motion from Brashear,
Have a second from Gantier.
second from Gantier. Call for the vote when you're ready.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Gantier.
Yes. Did you do Charles?
7:30.
Oh, you had it?
It's kind of cool.
Really good about this. You must have told me.
Because I sometimes say that, and I'm way off.